Hello, welcome back to another video on You Ask, I Answer. Nick, how important is nostalgia to the longevity of this hobby? Yeah, can you see how difficult this question is for me to answer? Let's see if I can talk about what I think and see if that will constitute an answer, because I'm not sure. Even as I thought about it and sat down and turned on the phone, I'm like, I don't think I have the answer, but let's go through the process. For sure, nostalgia does not, yes, that's the key thing, does not have to be present for something to be collectible. Plenty of people collect plenty of different things without nostalgia playing a part of that. Okay? Can everybody agree on that? Raise your hand if you disagree. I'm sure somebody out there will say, no, nostalgia and collectible is hand in hand. I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, for some things it might, but for a lot of things it's not. Like for me, I can tell you, my first love is stamps. Okay, I start to collect stamps not at the age of, I believe I was 9 or so. My brother was 1 year older and we start to collect stamps, and it has nothing to do with nostalgia. We saw some old stamps from Europe and they have beautiful design, intricate designs and patterns that look beautiful, and we fell in love with the beauty at that young age, and we start to collect stamps. It has nothing to do with nostalgia. Okay, and I'm sure anybody know somebody that collects something that has nothing to do with nostalgia. Okay, I can tell you, if I have money to burn, you know what I would collect? Cars. And I can tell you that has nothing to do with nostalgia. If I have a lot of money, I would have a garage like Jay Leno. Okay, because I love cars and I would buy all kind of fancy classic as well as modern car, just because I love the look of cars, even though I don't drive a lot. But yeah, so those that collect handbags and shoes, how does nostalgia even play part of that, right? So for me, I collected comic books from the very beginning just because I think collect is in the DNA of a lot of human species. Something about our species that are very different from other species. Okay, animals, you know what they collect? The only thing they collect? Food. That's the only thing that matters to most, if not all other species. Food, right? But for us, we collect things, you know, and nostalgia is a component of this hobby because it brings people back into the hobby. So for me, nostalgia is a part of many collectible, but more so because it brings some people back into the hobby, because most kids that collect comic books in the 60s and 70s and 80s, it's, most really can't explain why or how they decided to collect. They just fell in love with the superheroes, the books, the drawing, the art, and then they buy the stuff. And then it's just like a normal process of keeping the stuff. Okay, so it's human to buy things and keep things, hoard things. That's almost more an instinct, and then ultimately it turned into collecting those things because you don't throw them away. But then over the next few decades, as you leave, as I did, I left this hobby twice, each time for roughly 5 years before I came back. And that's has some nostalgia component to it as far as returning to the hobby. So I think for most hobby, most collectible, nostalgia play a part in many people returning to the hobby many years, if not decades later. Now, going forward, how important is nostalgia as far as this hobby is concerned? I don't know, because when it comes down to nostalgia, I think a big part of what drove the market that we had in the past decade is a nostalgia impact on the older collector that return to the hobby with the movies. Okay, I already talked about that in a different video. So that already happened. Now, what will drive the next generation of collectors? Is nostalgia is going to be a part of that? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Now, some people, I'm sure I have read enough comments on my channel over the past few years how some grown up my age think that their kids seeing all the superhero movies today in their early teens, in 20 years when they're in their 30s and start to have money, disposable income, then they will start to collect. Is there any truth to that? I don't know. I can't say that that's nonsense, nor can I say that that sentiment is 100% correct. I don't know. My son is a perfect example. He enjoyed the superhero movies. He doesn't understand why I would collect these things. To him, it's just papers, reprints. He did collect a few things. He had a couple binders of Pokemon cards, but then after a while, he's just like, not interesting. Same thing with baseball card and basketball cards. You know, we got some of those things as gifts. Friends and family gave him those packs. He opened them and he's like, oh, cool. You know, a couple Celtics basketball card players because he liked the Celtics. Same thing with the Patriots. But after a while, he's just like, it's just a piece of cardboard. Now, can he start to collect these things 20 years from now? I don't know. I have no idea what would drive him into collecting. He may collect just because, as I outlined, it's in our DNA to collect. But I think as this hobby continue going forward, I think nostalgia is gonna play a smaller, okay, I'm not saying it's gonna go away. I can't predict that it's gonna be completely gone, but I think nostalgia will play a smaller part of this hobby. That's how I view nostalgia and the comic book hobby. I just think that, you know, people will still collect because that's what we do. But as far as why people collect, I don't think nostalgia will play a big part as it is right now. What drove a lot of people today in the past 10 years to spend a lot of money? A big part of that is nostalgia. Okay, nostalgia contributed to a lot of grown adults with disposable income to willing to pay up for many of these things and compete and bid over each other to get these things. Now, if nostalgia is not part of the thought process when people want to buy these things, how much are they willing to pay? In conclusion, I think there's always going to be some people that collect comic books. Okay, it's not going to go away regardless if nostalgia become a smaller part of the collecting community. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Is that it's still going to be people collect. How many, I don't know, and how many will have the direct impact on the prices, because, you know, like I said in so many videos, prices and demands go in hand. So if less people in the future collect because there's less nostalgia, assuming if that's what pan out, then price will be weaker. You can't You cannot prop up more prices higher when you have less people participating, okay? I could be wrong. Time will tell. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.